I want to give a huge thank you to Chris Jones for sponsoring today's video.
If you want to encourage the channel, there are several ways you can go about it. The easiest way is for free, and all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, which will help it make it grow. You can also hit the like button, and you can leave comments for me to read and reply to answer your questions. You can support the channel long-term by becoming a patron. Simply visit patreon.com/diorama workshop. If you want to support in a shorter term, YouTube has now allowed me to activate the Super Thanks button, which is located right at the bottom of the video with the little heart-shaped icon. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. It's Frank here. Oh my God, the little cat Roxy I was just gonna start saying that I'm sorry that there's sound hums from the main air conditioning thing on, and then Roxy, she just smashes into the camera. Oh my God. Anyway, way to go for an intro. Let's see if I decide to keep it or not in the editing. I might as well keep it. You know, that's what's fun. It's like to show, you know, spontaneity is what we call it, and some of my personality instead of just doing take 2, take 3. As you know, most of these things, I don't script it. I just try to wing it and how my brain works. Like, I'm already starting to go into ranting too much info. Now I'm starting to say I need to edit. So anyway, what I was going to try to say was that today we're going to be doing a really fun video, and it's the showing how we put together the houses at Celebration 2 back in 2002 for the 20th anniversary continuation. And this will be the third video of the trilogy, if you want to call it, because we did the small house, we did the large house, and now I'm going to show you how we did the sand, or how I did the sand and brought it over there to Indianapolis to lay it on the table, and how I will be creating my own little mini Tatooine Streets right over here. So I'm just going to be doing a simple show and tell of how I used sawdust to recreate sand, like I did in 2002 at the convention. And I'm going to show you how I applied it and the little blue background poster board in order to give the illusion of a sky. And so I'm just going to show it to you what it looks like, the possibilities of placing your houses, and what it looks like once you start populating it with figures and everything. So that's what we're going to be making today. So sit back, enjoy. My name's Frank Diorio. You're watching DioramaWorkshop.com. Here's a list of all the materials that you're going to need in order to build your streets. If you don't want to put a permanent build on your shelf, you can do it temporary like I did by using a piece of cardboard for your base. You'll need a blue poster board for your skies. You'll need a hot glue refills, a plastic measuring cup with some water in order to dilute your white glue. You'll need a large paintbrush like this, a tongue depressor or a spoon. You'll need a colander in order to sift your sawdust. And last but not least, I made some sawdust with some scrap wood and my circular saw. Okay, so now let's head into the garage where I'm going to be showing you how to take simple wood and a saw and a vacuum cleaner. This all sounds weird, doesn't it? And how we put all that together in order to make your Tatooine sand. So today I'm just going to be using these scraps over here. We're going to put them in the saw, and I taped a vacuum hose to the back of it, and the hose is connected to my Dyson, which is a bagless vacuum, and so I'm able to accumulate the sawdust like this, and we'll be able to save it to place in our diorama. And when we're done, all we have to do is empty the sawdust into our bin. And we have a texture that looks like sand once we apply it to the diorama. Let's go do that. I want to apply some of this blue cardboard that I bought on the ceiling over here of my shelf unit in order to create a sky, and then I'll put a same blue cardboard on the side over here. So I'm first going to just put some hot glue drops on the edge there, and then I'm just going to align this with the corner like this, and then I'm going to keep this pressed up, push this in the corner. Now I only put a hot glue over here, a drop here, and a drop there, just enough to keep it solid, and then I put one drop here, one drop there, and one drop here so that the ceiling or the sky doesn't droop down. Now this should dry relatively quickly. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a quick drop over here so that this will cement the seam so it doesn't droop, and then I'll just be putting it here so that it'll glue on the side as well. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then on the side here, 1, 2, 3. That should be enough. I'm going to go from here, center, towards the end, then push this like that. Same thing here, center, push that, center, and push it against the corner like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to have a nice little blue background instead of just this in case I'm going to take photos looking up. I'm going to try and just see if I can't put just some tape over here like that, and then see if I can't have this go down. It's hard to press unless I go this way. Okay, that works for that. Press that like this. Or base. Now the houses will be pressing this more, so we don't have to worry about that for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transform this surface into sand by using the sawdust that I had put. Now I did a quick outdoor test over here, which was using spray adhesive, and then I placed the sawdust on top, but then it all blew away, and so spray adhesive gives you this effect, which I guess is okay because it's better than seeing a cardboard, but you don't really have the full texture. It's not thick enough. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a mixture of Elmer's or white glue like this with just a little bit of water to dilute it. And I'm going to paint that onto the rest of the cardboard over here. And then we're going to sift the sawdust on for it to go and get absorbed into the glue. And that should give us a nice sand base for a diorama. Okay, so I have a little less than a third of a cup here. I'm just going to drop all the glue into this plastic measuring cup. 2. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, I'm going to want to stir this now with the paintbrush. Let's paint the glue on one little section at a time. Over here. Okay, I'm going to take some of my sawdust here and I'm just going to sieve it over. I'm just going to put a lid here because I don't want it falling onto the bottom shelves. So just keep sifting like this. This is working really well. And this is what you get as your sand texture, as opposed to here, when I did it with the spray-on adhesive, you can't even tell it's sawdust. It looks just like sand. Okay, I'm gonna keep painting and overlap a little bit. Start sifting again. I went too fast and I put some of the big chunky pieces over here. I want to keep the sifted sand, not the big chunks. You can even pat it a little bit. Make sure it goes into the cardboard or into the glue. But the glue should absorb it on its own. With the leftover glue there, I'm going to try and patch up these zones over here. See, when you place them on the sand, how cool it looks? You're not seeing it because of the beam. I'll show it to you when I move the camera. Okay, I'm going to place this now against the wall. That way I'm going to leave enough space to place some things in the front. There's our do-back. Now we're going to put some more sawdust at the seams here, or at the bottom, to hide the connections, and it'll look more like the wind blew the sawdust and the sand near the buildings. I have this little connector piece that I made as well. I'm just going to place this anywhere, but close enough so that I can see the effect of both sides here. Let's place it there for now. And then the small house would be placed maybe here, so that there's enough space here to move around. Maybe put a land speeder or something over here. So now we want to hide this seam at the bottom. So I took some sifted sand and I placed it in this little container, and I'm just going to take a little stick like this, a tongue depressor, and I'm just going to apply it. You could use a spoon as well, but I'm just going to apply this like this at the edge where it meets, and then you can flatten it. You can kind of mold it until you're happy with it. And see, then you're not going to see the bottom imperfections of your building. You can do the same over here. You can put as high a mound as you want. Bring it towards the building, like if the wind was blowing on it. I was going to say you could blow on it, but then you're going to be blowing all the rest of the sawdust as well, and that won't be good. It'll end up all over your floor. So now you have your small house next to your large house, and this is how we placed them in Star Wars Celebration 2 back in 2002. And now all we need to do is put some little action figures, and then we'll look at the final product. I discovered that I have these two bins over here, and these are Greebles from old action figures I had bought a long time ago. What I want to do is see if there's little items like this maybe that I can place along the side of the building to make it look even more Tatooine-ish. This is another Jurassic Park type of thing there. This might look cool. Some Qui-Gon capes. And then some Jedi chairs. That's a Yoda chair. This, I don't remember what this is. Oh, here's a cool foot thing. This would look nice. Some laser cannon. I'm not quite sure what that's from. What do we have here? Another cage. This might be interesting too.
It looks like I'd have to put a pipe in here or there. I don't know if I have something that would fit in that, but... Oh, maybe this? Let's see. Like that? Greebles are fun to go through because you can find all kinds of things. Oh my god, I haven't seen this in ages. Does it still work? Oh, the batteries aren't in it, but you had a talk, special effects, and you could make Vader noises with this. This was at least 1995. Oh, a radar dish. Oh, what is that doing in? This should go in the droid over here. I'm going to put that over there for now. What in the world? Why would I have this? A McDonald's car with Mayor McCheese, I think was his name. Okay, that's odd. Here's some cool looking little contraptions there that would look neat. Okay, so we have these pieces over here that I think look cool. This looks like something that would go on the side of a house. So maybe on the side like here, or in the front. That looks weird, eh? To have it there like that. What if it's here like this on the side of the house? It looks more interesting this way, right? Than upside down like that. Because it almost looks like it's like a little restaurant stand there. Okay, that's kind of cool. A little addition there. I have this contraption as well. Let's place it here for now. And then we have a radar dish I can place on top one of the buildings. I could put it here. And then maybe add this to this in the corner. Like that. I placed that little thing here just to give it a little bit of a difference. Okay, so first thing, if you were lucky enough to buy this at the time, this was the moisture evaporator that came with the Luke figure. If I put this next to the one I built, that shows you how this was way too small again. But it was cool that Hasbro made one at least, but it should have been this size. So this is what we made with the kids at Celebration 6, Return to Tatooine. So this, I want to take this. I want to leave space if we put a land speeder, Luke's land speeder. So maybe if I put it here like this. Now I'll have to cover the base with some more stardust, with some more sawdust. A subliminal reaction to Rogue One over there. So we have it like this. That looks pretty cool, actually. Okay, so here's all the figures that we have to go through, right? So we have Aunt Beru. Do we want to put her? Maybe she's doing some grocery shopping. Okay, definitely want one of these little droids. And maybe one of him. We definitely want to have this, right? Who drove this? Do you guys remember? And is this, it goes like this. Oh, we should put him. Here's Snitch. We have to place him next to Luke and Ben Kenobi. Okay, so these are all the Bens that I have in my collection. So we don't want Ghost Ben. We want, this is Death Star Ben walking around. This is Ben from his house. This was cool. This was a little table that they made with the little Leia hologram there. When they were together selling Luke's speeder, do you guys remember if he was wearing a hood or not? Okay, we were talking about Wattos earlier. So there's one Watto here. I think this is episode 2 Watto because he has his little hat on. Episode 1 Watto was this one. I like this one better. Some pit droids. That's episode 1 though. Maybe have 1 or 2 pit droids maybe. So I'm going to use this Watto because I think he looks the nicest. Okay, so I got the Watto. Putting him back. Jawas. Gonna want a couple of Jawas. Okay, let's see. I always love a Gonk droid. Place him somewhere. I want one sitting Jawa. This one doesn't sit very well. This one looks cool. This one of the early ones. See, they had plastic hole here so that when you shined a light, his eyes would light up. I don't think the new Jawas have that. Oh, the new Jawas, see, they have no slots for their eyes. They have painted eyes instead. Oh, I like this one. Look at the details compared to this. Jawas look really cool. That were my favorite scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi. I laughed a lot at that. Oh, here's this droid. I don't know what this robot is. I'm still looking for a sitting down Jawa. This is better painted, but he can't sit at a 90-degree angle, which is kind of stupid. They're all the same. These are all the same. Oh, this one sits a little bit better than this one. Okay, I might use him. Do we have him? No. Here's my sand troopers. So this is one of the first sand troopers. I think it's the one, I don't know if it's the one that came with the dewback, but he's the muscular 94 versions before. This could have been the dewback version because he's all painted really way too orange. No, this is the sitting dewback. He can sit on the dewback. Let's see, this is a better, fully articulated sand trooper. His paint job is a little funky though, but so we have that. We have this guy as well. This is two variations. Then we have a white one with a big gun. So I'll use these three, and then I think I'm gonna get some stormtroopers out. This is all my stormtroopers. There was a guy who was getting married in the 90s, and his wife didn't want to have these around the house anymore, so he sold them at $2 each for me. It cost me like $100 or something to have like 70 of them. See, look at these were terrible. The first ones there, the all He-Man muscular versions compared to what they came out with later on. Here's one stormtrooper that had his helmet come off. This is always cool. I like when they do that. These used to be when you'd get them wet, they would have blast marks that would show up. But now with age, the blast marks show up all the time. So it almost looks like a Star Trek badge or something. It almost looks silly now. Okay, let's take 4 in case I want to place them. Here's Chewie. If we have Chewbacca walking around, it has to be one of the early ones. That's Mask. This is Hawk. There's this Chewbacca. But then this one is Death Star for sure. This is a cool sculpt, this. He was like shooting his crossbow. Okay, here's a regular looking Chewbacca. I'll use him. These are all the Han Solos. We want a Han Solo, not torture Han Solo. This is Bespin with the brown pants. Episode 4 is the blue pants. So it would be, this one would be episode 4 Han Solo. Oh, there's this one is cool. Oh, because this one here on the right is the muscular Han Solo. And then this is the more normal. Want to have a C-3PO. There's so many. Here's one. Here's another. This one's a bit more dirty. I like this one. This one is from the ceremony with his shiny leg. This is a battle droid swap. So I think I'm going to pick him. R2-D2. Here's one. Looks more swampy though. This one is very swampy. This has to be a Dagobah version. Oh, and he used to speak when you'd hit the button here because his head doesn't turn and his eye would light up. Here's Dagobah with the periscope. Then he goes, whoop. Ah. Okay, where are you? Just normal R2. Where in the world did he have a hook like this? Oh, and this was the worst R2 ever made. This R2 with the lightsaber, you have to press here, and then it pops out. And then Luke catches it and battles the Sarlacc. Wong, wong. I've talked enough. Let's just grab one. I'll use this one. He's kind of like... Oops. Okay, here's all my R2 units. Let's put at least an R5 unit in there. Here's R5. Have him. We want this guy in there, walking around. Oh, this was really cool. This was for eventually when I do the Queen ship diorama. The R2s fit inside this thing, like that, in the Queen docking there. That'll be a cool diorama to make. Okay, so I have green, beige, brown. This is a weird looking one. Maybe use him. This is Cantina. Oh, I want a hammerhead walking around, that's for sure. Oh, Ponda Baba. We want him walking around, right? I haven't even peeled him out of his little plastic thing. Oh, remember when all the figures had these elastics there, these anti-theft elastics? You don't see that anymore. Okay, I want him somewhere. You want to put a snaggletooth? Obviously, these are all Cantina band. These are the ones you ordered from Fruit Loops cereal, and you were able to get 5 packs of these. I have a Greedo. Oh, this guy. Look at the paint detail. This is a great sculpt. This is an amazing figure. He's in the Cantina, but I'm going to make him walk around. I like this guy too. I forget his name. Oh, this is a cool guy to be walking around. Mos Eisley. Oh, look who's here. You guys recognize this? This, if I remember, this is a Ralph McQuarrie concept Chewbacca. And this is actually, they actually used this character in Rogue One. I think he was walking around, or was it Force Awakens? Pit droid. Should have at least 1 or 2. I think I had already had taken one of the pit droids out. Oh yeah, we wanted to put Gragra in there somewhere next to one of the food stands. Okay, where's the Jar Jar that's walking around? Here, put him. These are all the Lukes that I have. I like this one. This is one of the early ones. I always thought that they did a good sculpt with this one. This one has a lightsaber in his hand, so we don't want that. Here, we can use this as a pilot. There's a cool ladder. See, I like when Hasbro makes accessories like this, because this is hard to do in a diorama, in foam core and different things. This is from Last Jedi, or we don't want to look at that one. This is Tusken Raiders. Even though Banthas are on their own, I like the Banthas. I'm going to take one and we'll place it because it's going to look nice. Here's one of these little creatures. We can have that lying around. Sand people. Here's different styles. It's just a different paint job. The same figure, basically. Here's the early one. This was the first version, the 90s, 94, with the slit there.
Okay, so we have all our figures. Now we can just place them. So this is what it looks like once your figures are all placed into the diorama itself. This is what really brings your scenes to life. When you have the buildings and the actual sawdust for sand, you could use real sand if you want. Even though yours won't look 100% like mine, you'll still capture the feeling of the movie and it'll look amazing inside your home. So here are some close-ups of some of the figures and just how cool they look in a diorama setting. Now, Hasbro did so many figures over the last 50 years, and so I'm using the ones that I started buying in 94 all the way to now, 2022. You can just find the ones that you collected, that you have at home, and then place them in their surroundings. If you, oh, there goes the cat. If you want to place figures that aren't necessarily from Star Wars A New Hope, you can place them like Jar Jar from Episode 1, or even have travelers from other movies like we used to do at the conventions. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as you can see, it's so simple to make, and when you put the figures in, that's where it really comes to life. So if you decided to make your own Tatooine houses, why don't you send in your pictures at dioramaworkshop.com at gmail.com. I would love to see them. It always makes me smile seeing what others make, just the way that you enjoy seeing what I make. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. Ring the bell if you don't want to miss an update. And if you want to support the channel long term, you could join Patreon at my Patreon page /Diorama Workshop. And on short term, you can now do a happy thanks or mega thanks. I forget what YouTube calls it. In order to give me the equivalent of a tip at a dinner restaurant in order to help buy more materials, which will make more dioramas and more videos for you guys. So anyway, next up, we're going back to Death Star. Can't wait. It's going to be very exciting. I'm having trouble slurring. I'm talking too fast. I'm so excited. Anyhow, so that was Tatooine. Hope you enjoyed it. My name's Frank Diorio. Ciao for now.
Thanks for watching DioramaWorkshop.com. If you want more interactivity,
You can follow us on these multimedia platforms. If you have a question about past or future Star Wars Celebration workshops, send me an email at dioramaworkshop.com@gmail.com. If you have a Facebook account, join the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders fan club today. If you like the video, please subscribe, share, and tell your friends to come check us out. If you want to see even more Star Wars Celebration crew coverage, click on the link to warp to dioramaworkshop.com, the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders website.